Hello and welcome to Feed Your Body, Fuel Your Life, the podcast where we dig deep into the world of health, fitness and nutrition. In this podcast, it is my mission to redefine how you fuel your bodies, how we perceive fitness and how you can pave the way for a lifetime of good health. Whether you are a regular gym goer, an aspiring athlete or someone who just wants to live a healthier and more fulfilling life, this podcast was designed with you in mind. From debunking common diet myths to exploring the science of anti-aging. From optimising physical performance to nurturing mental resilience. At some point we will cover it all. Now, on to episode 2 guys, beating the diet trap. In this episode I am going to cover exactly how I set up diet plans with clients, whether it be for fat loss or muscle gain. I start at the same position. I'm going to lay it all out for you during this podcast. So if you would like to make use of the information within this podcast that I'm about to give you, I would grab a pen and a bit of paper, make some notes, do some maths, and boom, that's your way. You'd be able to set up your own diet from scratch completely after listening to this for 10 minutes. In the UK alone, 69% of men and 60% of women are considered overweight. And 29% of men and 27% of women are considered obese. Yet, worldwide, the fat loss and diet industry is worth $221 billion US dollars, and that was at the time of 2021. That is estimated to rise to $405 billion by the year 2030. So what does this tell us? This tells us that the chronic dieting, the chronic serial dieting that people do, it doesn't work. All that happens is you'll lose 10 pounds on the diet and then you'll gain back 20 because of metabolic adaptation and things during the weight loss period. Now, I'm going to lay out a better way to approach this for you. So simply grab a pen and paper and take some notes. So, eat less, move more. Now, this is a really common saying when it comes to fat loss, but it is terrible advice because people take it too literally. Although on the surface that is exactly what you need to do, over time people take it far too literally. And to create a calorie deficit, what they do is they pull out food and really increase their energy expenditure through activity, which gives them a double whammy of low energy, and they've got no energy coming in and they're trying to sustain this really high output and they crash and burn and can't sustain it. And it is this chronic over dieting that I explained in the last episode, that when you do this, your metabolic rate slows down. It's called adaptive thermogenesis. Your metabolic rate slows down to try and offset some of the energy expenditure. So what happens when you stop that phase is, because your metabolism's running that little bit slower, you're primed to gain the weight back and probably more, just because your metabolism's not ticking over the way it should be, and then you jump back into old habits that you were doing in the first place. So what do you do? What do you do to remedy this? What do you do? How could you approach this in a different way so that that doesn't happen? Now, in the beginning, what I get people to do is to eat more and move more. I get them to really start training well, start training hard and up their activity, whether it be via cardio or daily steps, and I get them to eat more but focus on nutritious, whole nutritious foods. And what happens is the first couple of weeks of doing that, your body recovers better from the exercise, you start to sleep better, you start to have more energy. So when you have more energy, you're able to put more into your workouts and move more, and the extra energy expenditure helps you build that calorie deficit. Now, once a couple of weeks have passed, we'll monitor your weight. You monitor your weight, and if you are maintaining, the goal is for you to maintain, and energy levels increase, sleep increases, training intensity increases, and then at that point we start pulling small amounts of calories away. So when approached like this, we can pull small amounts of calories away, then the scales will start moving and the body fat will start moving. Then in a few weeks' time, pull another little bit away, another little bit away. So we're not jumping in right off the bat into this starvation diet with lots of exercise that is unsustainable, and it sets you up for gaining everything back. This way allows you to keep a lot of food in your diet, change your body composition, and keep your energy levels high. Now, the first thing we have to establish is we have to work out what are your maintenance calories. Now, what does maintenance calories mean? Maintenance just means the amount of calories you need to maintain your current body weight. Now, there are various ways you can do this. You can do this via online calorie calculators or whatever, but all these figures are just ballpark figures. None of them are exact, none of them are set in stone, they're just good starting points. So what I like to do is just take your body weight in pounds and multiply that by 15, and that'll give you your rough calorie estimate for your maintenance calories. Now, as I say, these are just ballpark figures, these are just starting points. Now, if you're approaching this for fat loss and have a lot of fat to lose, you can use your goal weight. Your goal weight in pounds multiplied by 15 will give you a ballpark figure to start with for your maintenance calories. So once you've established your ballpark figure for your maintenance calories, the next thing we want to do is work out the macronutrients. Macronutrients being protein, carbohydrates and fats. Now, to work out your protein, take your body weight in pounds and multiply that by 1 or 1.5. I personally like 1.5 because higher protein in your diet has many benefits. So the next thing you want to do is calculate your fat intake. So take your body weight in pounds and give yourself 0.5 grams per pound of body weight in fats. And for carbohydrates, you simply take the calories you've got less, divide that by the calories you have left, divide that by 4, and this will give you your carbohydrate intake. Simply fill in the rest of the calories with carbohydrates. Now, this is by no means perfect. This is a starting point. Once you've established the baseline of each macronutrient and calories, you can then run that for a period of 2 to 3 weeks. Keep an eye on your weight. Now, what will happen there, what we want is for you to maintain your weight, give or take a couple of pounds. After the 3 weeks are up, the 2 or 3 weeks, focus on increasing your training intensity, getting as much activity in as possible, focus on getting as much good quality food in as possible, and most of all, feeling better first, feeling in a good spot first before you think about pulling any calories out or adding any calories in for that matter. Now, after the 3 weeks is up, the 2 or 3 weeks is up, and if your goal is fat loss, all I want you to do is pull 10% off the calories. 10% off the calories, that should be enough. That few hundred calories should be enough to get your body weight moving down the way. And likewise, if you're doing this to gain muscle, all you want to do is add 10% calories and keep an eye on your weight as well. For gaining muscle, you don't want to be gaining any more than a pound or 2 a week. If you just go all out bulk mode and end up gaining 10 pounds over a space of a couple of weeks, you can guarantee a big chunk of that will be body fat. I've been there many times before. Are all calories created equal? Yes, because a calorie is simply a measurement of food, just like a centimetre is a measurement of distance or a mile is a measurement of distance. But not all nutrients are created equal. So what do I mean by that? I'll start by saying I'm a big fan of flexible diet and for people's psychology, because to cut out all your foods that you like is a recipe for disaster. You will end up binging. But 80 and 90% of your diet should come from whole foods and minimally processed foods. And I know that is easier said than done, because we do live in a world nowadays where people are so detached from what real food is. Everything's processed, everything around was processed, and it is so convenient to just live on processed food. But when setting your diet up like this, try and aim for at least 80 to 90% of your food to be whole food sources. And there you have it, guys. There is exactly how to set your diet up from scratch and at least get you started. Don't overanalyze the figures to start with. Simply work out your ballpark figure, get started, monitor your weight, and make adjustments either up or down depending on whether the goal is muscle gain or fat loss. It really is that simple, guys. But because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions around that, get in touch with me via my social media. Thank you very much.